Boom, monkeys, and we are live. Welcome back to the Crypto Boogie channel. Of course, you guys can see on my thumbnail, we're going to talk a little bit about Fantom today. I want to give a freaking warm welcome to my homie, freaking Large and in Charge, first person on the chat today. What's up, amigo? ¿Qué dice, vato? So, again, as stated, today, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Fantom. I know there's a lot of FUD going around as if this chain will survive. We will cover that. We will cover my opinion on that. Now, note, none of this is financial advice. None of this is something to apply to your life. It is only for educational purposes. Now, of course, we're going to cover some of the charts, a couple of tokens within the Fantom ecosystem. Not a lot of them, but we are going to hit up probably Boo. We're going to hit up Fantom, of course, Bitcoin, and a little bit of XBoo as you can see it on the thumbnail. So, you know what? I know that Charlie always does this. Charlie always has a freaking meme session going at the end of at the beginning of his videos. We're gonna do a little bit different. For you guys that understand Spanish, this should be pretty funny. It's not crypto related though, but nevertheless, shit will make you laugh. So let's go over to Twitter. Vamos a ver. Hope you guys could see this. Shit is funny as hell. Y aquí vamos a comenzar el día con un chiste, o la noche, mejor dicho, con un chiste. Me gusta mucho el boxeo a mí. I love boxing a lot. I do like going to the gym, so I can relate to this freaking meme. I think it's pretty damn funny for you guys that understand el Spanish. So check it out and have a couple of laughs.
Entreno duro para poder decir esto.
Si quieres estar conmigo, vas a tener que pagar, perra.
¡No! ¿Cuánto cobras entonces?
Entreno duro para poder decir esto.
Watch it again.
Si quieres estar conmigo, vas a tener que pagar, perra.
¡No! ¿Cuánto cobras entonces?
I thought that was pretty freaking funny, man. All right, guys. Enough with the jokes. We're not gonna make it into a complete meme session all night. So let's hop into the serious shit. We'll check out the Bitcoin chart, and then we'll see what chart we go after that. To what chart we go after that, and to what websites we end up hitting up. That's just pretty funny, huh? Large in Charge. Okay, let's check this shit out. Hoy vamos a comenzar con el chart de Bitcoin. That means we're going to start with a Bitcoin chart today. All right, cats. Let me put this sucker on the daily. Y aquí estamos con el Bitcoin chart. We are here with a Bitcoin chart. The current value of Bitcoin this evening is 29,844. From my understanding, on the 25th or the 26th, we should be having our next FOMC meeting. What I heard last time, I mean, I've been pretty damn busy with my freaking business and shit. What I heard last time was that 75% of the market is pricing in that we're going to get a 0.25% interest rate hike. Some cats believe we're not going to get an interest rate hike. I think we probably will. I mean, usually for the most part, people that make actual bets on these, because I know there's betting websites as to if we will go up in interest rate hikes or if we won't. And the majority is betting that we will. So if we do another interest rate hike, I don't know how Bitcoin's going to react. Now, one thing that I am noticing, let's go back to the weekly. And let's go back to the weekly and just verify this. Now, one thing I am noticing on the weekly, we have this giant red big ass candle. See a sucker here? And we broke this support resistance to the downside. Now, if you look at our RSI at the bottom, currently the RSI on the weekly is at 59.80. And if you look at the top of this other portion of the RSI, that was back in April 10th of 2023, that was our recent highest point. If we add this red trend line over it, we can see that we're starting to establish a form of divergence. Hence why I believe that in the next FOMC meeting, if we do get an interest rate hike and the planet and the moons align, Bitcoin will probably go down. Let's go to the daily to see where it could possibly go down to. Let's check it out. Now, the next area of support that we immediately have is probably this general area of candles. I don't have a trend line there, but if we put our cursor on here, that will put us at 29,491. But I think Bitcoin's moves will be a little bit more aggressive. We're not dealing with stocks, and cryptos tend to move up or down in an aggressive fashion. I am hoping we go down here to this area of support of 28,964. So if we activate our EMA ribbon, you could see that we're halfway into the conglomerate of lines. This could mean that we could be going back up to the upside because half of these lines can act as a form of support. But mind you, we are collapsing in a downward fashion from what I see. And if we continue, we could probably end up going here at 28,964. And I think in order for us to go ahead and be bullish again, we would probably have to be at the top of this box. And why do I believe we have to be at the top of this box? Because if we look over here, that on the date of May 22nd, I'm sorry, May 30th, 2022, this was our highest recent point that we were at. And this is the higher portion of the box. In order for us to get bullish, this is one of the areas we do have to compromise. And that value is at approximately 32,380. And if we don't count the wick, we go down here to the candle, on the upper neck of the candle, that puts us at 31,788, which is kind of funny. Because if we're at the neck of the candle over here and you look on the right side of the screen to our current recent high, which was on July 13th, and you see the top portion of the wick of that candle, which is a green candle, it's at 31,808. It kind of sort of aligns a little bit with the neck of these candles. So at least we have to compromise that. At least the neck area of these two candles over here of 31,477. Now, we are at the 28th day of the 60-day cycle. Now, Charlie and Bob Lucas and Jay, these guys are masters at the 60-day cycle. This is a new method I'm learning in technical analysis. And usually you measure from low to low. Could we go higher? There's a possibility. There is a possibility. But I think everything is pointing in a downward fashion. Even in the daily RSI, you could see that if you put this trend line over here, you could see from the back of this point, which is Friday, March 17th to today, if you lead it in a downward fashion down, it comes down over here to the current day today. And again, it's in a downward fashion. It's not as evident as it is on the weekly, though. But that's what we have. Now, let's check out the chats. Lo mismo, tenemos lo mismo todavía. Now, let's read a little article on what happened with doggone freaking Phantom. Everybody knows that there was a recent multi-chain hack. I heard from other sources that it really wasn't a hack. It was an inside job from some of the people that run multi-chain, and these individuals were placed under arrest by the Chinese police. But let's go ahead and read that article, and let's cover that up before we start hitting the Phantom chart and looking at some of the moves that I made within the Phantom ecosystem. So let me go ahead and share that screen with you cats. All right, this is from the Daily Hodl, News and Insight for the Digital Economy. This was actually published a couple days ago on July 17th, 2023. And this was written by Alex Richardson. And he made contact with Andre Cronje, one of the lead developers at Phantom. Of course, he's not the lead developer. From my understanding, the CEO of the Phantom Foundation is Mr. Michael Kong. And with that stated, it wasn't Phantom that was exploited. It was the multi-chain bridge that was exploited. And mind you, this can happen to any crypto if it's on any type of bridge and any other ecosystem. Is it the fault of Phantom? Absolutely not. Well, I guess you can place some blame on them if you say that they decided to deal with multi-chain, hence why, or they kept multi-chain because I think multi-chain's been hacked before. It's somewhat a fault of theirs, but there's a lot of bullish things coming for Phantom. For example, that FVM upgrade. I tried looking for that video we had in the last crypto mindset course where Michael Kong talks about the actual speed that they expect to get to once the FVM launches. But let's read this article. And it's actually pretty interesting, and it's not too long, and it's kind of short. Okay, as per Andre Cronje, Phantom FTM creator Andre Cronje says that the recent exploit of cross-chain bridge multi-chain was a massive setback for the Ethereum rival, which of course is Phantom. Writing in the community's forum, Cronje says that the Phantom team was misled about the true security level of multi-chain. Cronje also says that he and his team plan to seek solutions that will make all victims of the multi-chain hack whole. Multi-chain was a big blow. We had a lot of assurances from the team around the server decentralization, access, and geolocation distribution. Don't trust, verify. Saying this to myself. We are exploring options at this point, working with relevant organizations to try and recover assets. Beyond that, also looking into other backstops or helping recovery, even using the foundation's treasury. Until we have more data, we just can't give any hard confirmations. We won't leave this as though we will do everything in our power to make everyone whole. It goes on to state, we're also continuing to engage with Circle, which is the founder of the USDC token, Tether, TrueUSD, Binance, etc. for native issuance and reviewing rollups for native bridge infrastructure. When we have more verifiable information, we will propose an action plan. As you can imagine, the foundation and all our staff had exposure to these assets as well. Multi-chain's Phantom Bridge was exploited for at least 126 million, as bad actors were able to steal a number of coins, including crypto assets such as Chainlink, Wrapped Bitcoin, Wrapped Ethereum, and a trio of stable coins. According to the market analytics tool DeFi Llama, Phantom's total value locked has fallen drastically from 200 million before the incident to 67 million today. Multi-chain has since shuttered its operation, saying that its CEO was arrested by Chinese authorities in May and has not been in contact with the blockchain's team ever since. And I'm assuming that the Chinese police probably don't have very comfortable jails where they let you make phone calls to call your family. Large and in charge, you know what this is about as far as jails go. You know damn well that the Chinese communists probably won't give this individual an opportunity to call his family members, or much less call the Phantom Foundation about this type of freaking incident. I mean, it would probably behoove a freaking Michael Kong and Andre Cronje probably to look out another freaking another company that has a more secure bridge or has a better record of maintaining bridges for the Phantom ecosystem. And with that stated, I mean, if you want, from my understanding and from what I've read and my time in the crypto ecosystem, one thing that we've learned, that one of the main things they always exploit is the bridges, because that's an easy point of an attack for hackers, from my understanding. Now, I'm not an IT guy. I'm not freaking a guy that knows how to code or anything of that nature. My understanding of computer technology in itself is very limited. But with that stated, I do have my own personal theory on this. People make the complaint that Phantom was hacked, that the multi-chain was hacked and they took some Phantom. But how many times has this occurred to Bitcoin? How many times has this occurred to Ethereum? You cannot deny the fact that Phantom does have some upgrades inbound, which will be beneficial for the crypto community. And it's something that will benefit the crypto community. So with that mentioned, let's go ahead and check out the Phantom chart and see where we're at now. Okay. Not this Phantom chart. Let's look at this one. Boom. I have been tracing the 20-day cycles on this sucker. So I wanted to get you guys the deets on this. And the more information and the more alpha I can get you guys, the better. Phantom's current value is at approximately 0.2546, which is a little bit above 25 cents. Now, I went ahead and I drew these boxes to the downside because if you look back here in the history of Phantom, on these dates, which ballpark is December 21st of 2022, and then November 20th of 2022, those were the recent lows that we had. And I think from those dates, we went all the way down to 16 cents. So if you have all these buildup of candles over here and all these buildup of candles over here, boom, you guessed it, we have support. We have support, hence why I have these two boxes. Now, if you could see Phantom where it's currently at, I do have this trend line coming in a downward fashion because it seems that Phantom is following this trend line to the downside. And if we go to the weekly, and we look at our RSI, we do have divergence. The current value, not the current value, but the current Phantom's current location is at 39.94 on the RSI. And if we draw this trend line from the recent high on their RSI, which was January 30th of 2023, to the current area, you could see that we're touching the tops of these little mountains here. And it's going in a downward fashion, hence why we have a little bit of divergence. So if Bitcoin falls, which I do think it will fall, and I'm hoping it falls because, I mean, I need more time to buy some of this stuff, we could see Phantom come down here to this area of support, which is this white box. Let's go back to the daily to see more details on that white box. And if you see this white box, it ranges from the value of 20 cents all the way down to 19.25. I am hoping we go down to the downside to this area and we hit up this area of support so I can go ahead and beef up my bags a little bit more. Now, I think the only time to really be concerned, effectively concerned, is if we break this 16 cents area. And of course, we do have support down here at 13 cents. We never went down that low in the recent altcoin bear market. Well, it's funny because when Ethereum and Bitcoin were at their recent lows in the bear market that we were recently in, Phantom went to its low as well. Now, what we're noticing is that currently today we're facing our altcoin bear market. But Phantom already ran that cycle, hence why I don't think we'll probably go down to 16 cents again. I'm hoping we do so I can catch some more. If we go down to 16 cents, I would start worrying if we go down somewhere to 4 cents. Because I think if we look over here, down here to this area, our next area of support would be down here at 5 cents. And that would be these two candles here. If you place these on the neckline. Right about there. That would be at 0.05. Now, let's activate our EMA ribbon to see where we're at on the Phantom ecosystem. On the daily, at least, which is my favorite tool. And we do have resistance to the upside, of course. And let's look at our Bollinger Bands. Phantom can still go down here to this yellow line over here. And we could basically fall down to 23 cents in the immediate time frame, give or take. Now, let's check out the chat. Chat is pretty much the same. Now, let's go check out some of the moves that I went ahead and did. Now, one of the common places where everybody and their mother loves messing with Phantom is, of course, Spooky Swap, spooky.fi. And I'm going to walk you guys through this a little bit as to how SpookyFi works and the liquidity pools that I was in and what I decided to do. Another place that a lot of Phantom people like messing with is also Reaper.form, where they can go ahead and do single-sided staking on their Boo or on their liquidity pools. And I'll show you cats what seems to be the most beneficial at this time being. Mind you, understand that if you're in any altcoin, you're automatically taking risks. And understand that you have to have the stomach for this. Only have a certain portion of your bag distributed to the Phantom ecosystem, a certain portion distributed to the Pulse Chain ecosystem, and then a certain portion either into ETH and Bitcoin, depending on what your finances are. Again, this is not financial advice. This is only for educational purposes. But let me go ahead and show you Spooky Swap and show you what I was doing and what I evolved to and what I'm doing now. Now, I am hoping this website is not burning your eyes, and the reason I left it blank, the reason I left it vanilla the way it looks, is because I'm gonna show you guys really quick how to upgrade this shit. So when you come over here to Spooky Swap, I'm gonna go ahead and share this link here in the frickin' chat, so you individuals can end up using it, because I don't want you individuals to get frickin' hacked and shit. And that is Spooky Swap. I will place this, by the way, on the chats once this video is just on replay mode. Okay, back to Spooky Swap. You want to come up over here to the gear, click on that sucker, and the first thing you want to do is click on this moon instead of the sun. It'll make it a lot prettier and a lot easier on the eyes. Now, default transaction speed. Phantom in itself is very cheap. It is a very cheap chain to operate on, so I would rather operate on instant. And that's where I like placing my setup when I'm running on Phantom. Now, where I used to be at, I would come over here to the farm, and I was in this liquidity pool. It's loading. Oh, my goodness. Don't tell me this shit's acting stupid. Bear with me, cats. Technical difficulties here. Let me get this squared away. Ay, ay, ay. Murero. Bear with me, cats. I'm going to fix this real fast. Let's see. This should fix the problem right here. Okay, going back. Let me see. Can't believe this shit's acting stupid, especially now during a damn live stream. Bear with me, cats. Trying to get this shit squared away. All right. There you go. And now we're operational again. Let me go ahead and share my screen. This is, okay, here it is at the stream. This is, of course, Spooky Swap. We went ahead and we clicked on the farm up over here. And I was in this liquidity pool. I was in the Phantom Boo liquidity pool. It was gaining me 18.17% APR. Now, on being redundant, and then it pays you out in the Boo token, which is one of my favorite projects. I really love Spooky Swap. I think it's the best DEX in all of crypto. So the way liquidity pools work, basically, if you have Phantom and then if you have Boo, if Phantom starts pumping, and if you have them freaking together on a liquidity pool and Phantom starts pumping, what ends up happening is you start selling Phantom into Boo. And then if Boo pumps over Phantom, what ends up happening in a liquidity pool, you end up selling some Boo for Phantom. It DCAs you into Phantom. Usually, when Phantom and Boo are bullish, they pump in tandem. So both tokens are great to have. But we cannot deny the fact that there is a possibility of impermanent loss. So what I went ahead and did, I pulled my Fantom Boo. Let me show you guys. I pulled my Fantom Boo from here. And I went over here to liquidity pool. Mind you, this is where you end up creating a liquidity pool. You put the basic amount of value of Fantom and the basic amount, the same value of Boo. And then you end up fusing them together. Hence why you have these little 2 tokens right here. And then if you come over here to My Potions, it will show you which tokens you have, and you can defuse them here. In other words, you can separate the tokens. Before you throw them in that farm, you got to fuse them here on this part where it says liquidity. So I pulled them out, and I separated them. I also pulled out some of my tokens from Reaper.farm. And let me show you guys where that's at. I had some of my tokens here on Reaper.farm. I had it, you could single side stake doggone Boo in this area here. But I had my stuff here in the Fantom Boo, and I deposited it here, but I withdrew my tokens there. And I came back over here to the last screen I was showing you guys at. I came over here and I separated them here. Now, what did I do with them? I went ahead and I jotted down some of my Fantom tokens. I got a certain percentage of my Fantom tokens and I turned them into Boo. Why did I turn them into Boo? Is it because I'm solely bullish on the project? No. Because I didn't want to suffer any impermanent loss, especially in the volatile market that we're going into with the Fantom ecosystem. So I came over here to stake Boo, and I went ahead and I staked some of my Boo and I turned it into X Boo. Now, one X Boo equals 2.45 Boo. So for every 2.45 Boo that you deposit, you get a basic certificate that says you have 1 X Boo. And then you can go ahead and stake this X Boo and you get rewarded 24.49% APR. Of course, it pays you out in the Hefet token, but mind you, there is no impermanent loss, which is the dope thing about this shit. And then you can immediately swap this Hefet token over here on the swap for Boo or for more Fantom. And that's what I'm doing daily. And the APR rate, if you go over here to stake Boo, it's at a higher rate at 24.49% APR. If you have a Magic Cat, you can increase that percentage by 3.1%. And right now, Magic Cats are super duper cheap. I am still bullish on Fantom. And I think the Magic Cats is a great opportunity right now, especially with the value of Fantom going down. Let's go check out the Magic Cats, see what their current value is at. Vamos a ver. Let's see what the current value of the damn Magic Cats are. Let's see what the floor is on this suckers. Get a cat, son. I love this freaking project. I remember when Miguel actually taught me how to DeFi. I had a consultation with him, and he showed me this website as to how DeFi works. When he showed me that, that was it, man. I was a doggone freaking crypto freaking. I was a freaking crypto maxi after he showed me that shit. And when I saw the power of DeFi, I thought that shit was off the chain, son. If you guys ever want to teach individuals how to go ahead and freaking get into DeFi, Spooky Swap's the perfect place to do it. Hands down. Because it's got everything in one website. And it's so easy to operate. So let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what the value of the Magic Cats is. We go over here to Paint Swap. And I want to share this sucker in the chat as well, because I don't want you guys end up getting some fake ass Magic Cats. Boom. Show. Now you can get these suckers here. So back to the Magic Cats. What we want to do, we want to select price low to high to see what the floor is. That is 425 Fantom for the floor. If we go over here to Spooky Swap and we click on the swap, of course you guys can't see this. But if we multiply 425 Phantom per USDC, and mind you, I like the USDC AXL, 425 Phantom, it will issue, the floor is at $107. That is so freaking cheap to get some Magic Cats. Then you can grab some of those Magic Cats and throw them over at freaking in the stake boo area and pump the percentages on the boo that you have. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? De seguro que sí, large and in charge. Pussy gang, son. I need to get my dirty hands on a couple more Magic Cats. I do want to utilize the rule of three. If you individuals don't know what the rule of three is, when dealing with NFTs, you don't want to get too many NFTs because NFTs are not as liquid as coins. So when I'm really, really bullish on NFT, I try to get a total of three NFTs. And when it comes to these Magic Cats, you may as well buy the cheapest ones there is. This one for $425, $469, another one for $469, or any of these other ones that are $469. Know what I mean? Now, what you're supposed to do with these, suckers is, one, Magic Cat is to make all your money back. All your money back. Or one NFT is, let's say you spent a total of $300 on all three Magic Cats or all three NFTs. Use one of those suckers to make all your $300 back once the bull market comes into full effect. The second Magic Cat, what you can do with that sucker is use it to take some profits. And then the third Magic Cat, which should be your most valuable one, you want to hold on to that bad boy just in case you end up getting a moonshot. And that's the best way to play with Magic Cats. Now, I'm losing my voice here, guys. Let me get a little sip of water. I'll be right back. And I am back, son. Ay, ay, ay. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Present. Yeah, you're right, large and in charge. I remember when one cat was $500 the cheapest. I concur, man. Right now is a great time to get some of them if you're bullish and you have the stomach to hold on to the Phantom token or any of the Phantom projects. Another project that Charlie and Miguel are really bullish on, and I know that's one hell of a project, is the Beats ecosystem. I haven't checked, but I have heard that Beats in itself, BEETZ or BEETS, is also an optimism. So that's one project that's really good within the Phantom ecosystem. Now, since we did cover Phantom, we covered Bitcoin, why don't we check out the doggone freaking boot chart? Now, mind you, I came over here to cointrader.pro and it was giving me the thing I hate about cointrader.pro. It's not always accurate information. I remember they had real inaccurate information on Jewel when I was buying up the Jewel token. And I'm noticing that they're having inaccurate information on Boo. Let me show you guys. Oh, I guess it updated now. Yeah, it updated, guys. It did update. Earlier today, this candle, this actual whole body candle was all the way up over here to $3 and who knows how many cents. Boo in itself is also on a tear to the downside. If we go to the weekly, we can notice, let's go ahead and grab this doggone trend line. I'm hoping cointrader.pro works the same way, that we're also developing divergence, which means we could be going to the downside. Boo, let's check this bad boy out. According to CoinTrader Pro, but I mean, question that. CoinTrader Pro is not always that freaking accurate sometimes. Is saying that Boo net has never come down this low. I'd have to double check that. Let's check it out on Deck Screener. Vamos a ver. Let's check this bad boy out on Deck Screener. And this is on the daily too, man. Let me see. Present, share screen. Let's go to deck screener. And then this will be the last thing we cover, guys, before we call it a night. And if we look at Boo on the daily, usually for the most part, we operate on 20-day cycles when it comes to altcoins. We were last on the 22-day cycle, and we're currently on day 15 on Boo. If you look at this blue line right here, that represents the 10-day moving average. We do have that as a form of support. But again, I do think that we're having divergence to the downside, which will be a great time to buy. Where could Boo go down currently? Its next area of support would probably be closest here, which would be at 66 cents. The lowest we've ever had Boo at, as per what I'm reading here, is at about 64 cents. I'd have to double check that. I think this may be right, but I think Spooky Swap is the best DEX on all of frickin' DeFi. And maybe I don't know if they have a direct contract with the Fantom Foundation, but it would probably be smart of them to reach out to other frickin' well, no, if they start accepting other altcoins on their DEX from different ecosystems, if that's possible, if anything. Now, that pretty much covers our stream for today, unless you guys got any questions. And we don't seem to have anything right now. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I'm still bullish on Fantom. I'm not really all that scared. Mind you, I only have a certain amount of my portfolio in the Fantom ecosystem, not a maxi in any coin. And that's why we have to be freaking diversified in all the coins that we freaking touch and mess with. I do know that tomorrow, Miguel and Charlie are having a massive webinar, and they're going to cover where they believe the market's going tomorrow in the evening, I think. You guys, if you guys are in the Citadel chat or in any of the crypto mindset courses from 2021 to today, we will get a link to that, and we will get details as to where Charlie believes the market's going. I'm getting pretty decent at technical analysis, but I think he is a little bit better. I think Miguel is pretty bullish still on the Fantom ecosystem. Well, thank you, cats, for joining me. I will see you again, if not tomorrow, probably the end of next week. And I will catch you fools later.